Well, that was lots of fun. And here are my thoughts immediately following the full time of the URC matchup between big rivals, the Bulls and the Stormers, at a sold-out Loftus Versfeld in Pretoria. And that's exactly the first place I want to start, just to say fair play to the Bulls, fair play to the people of Pretoria, rugby fans in South Africa in general, for turning out and packing out that stadium and then waiting for a thunderstorm to clear before having a delayed kickoff. It actually caught me out. I was watching on a... it was quite difficult to find somewhere to watch it in the UK. I managed to find a way to watch it. Thanks for asking. But I didn't understand what was going on with the kickoff time. I thought I'd made a mistake. As a result, got in trouble with my wife because I'd arranged to watch at 3 o'clock UK time. And what? Oh, it's going to be 4 o'clock, is it? Anyway, it was worth the wait, wasn't it, from a rugby perspective? And fair play to, well, actually, yeah. Let me reveal the result in case you didn't know it. Too late now. There's the spoiler. 40 points to 22. A convincing win for the Bulls. I expected this one to be close. I thought the Bulls might edge it at home and bring the Stormers' streak to an end, but I did not see that scoreline come in. And, well, it was a very, very impressive performance from the Bulls. And do you know what? Before we get into the actual game, I've just got to say, on the URC front, I will put my hands up and confess, I was a little bit dubious when the South African teams joined the what became the URC. I was wrong. It has elevated the competition. Matchups like this, sold out stadiums like that, and the fact that the crowd and South African fans are starting to buy into this competition, and we've had the success of the Stormers, and now the Bulls are making a push for it. It's awesome, and this is a showpiece moment for that whole competition. So, fair play. Well, a bonus point win, the full 5 points going to the Bulls, who will separate themselves from the Stormers now in the table. And in the hour's delay, because I was watching on this stream, I just had shots of the stands with nothing else. And all I heard was the DJ in Pretoria busting out the tunes. I must have heard "Zombie" by the Cranberries a bunch of times, "Sweet Caroline" a couple of times as well. What I can't believe they didn't think to play AC/DC's "Thunderstruck" though. That was a missed opportunity. What was not a missed opportunity was the Bulls when they had their chances in this match. That was the difference between the two teams. The Bulls were clinical, the Stormers were wasteful. The Bulls also had a bit more of an all-round game. Their power game came to the fore. They were winning scrum penalties for fun. Their maul was ace, and they were kicking sticks. Usain was metronomic from the tee, and the Stormers, by comparison, made a lot of errors, created lots of opportunities, but butchered loads of them. And that was the difference between the two teams. They are both a lot of fun to watch, though. Both had really creaky lineouts in this match. That's quite uncharacteristic, or at least is that just my stereotype of South African teams, that they get the fundamentals, scrum and lineout right. They did not get the lineout right today, although there were lineout maul tries on both sides of the game. But I think the Stormers will go back to Cape Town feeling quite frustrated. Lots of errors. And like I say, the rugby they play, the approach rugby they play, with Libbok at the helm and Willemse. As a 12, I really like the look of him. Could he evolve the way South Africa play if Rassie Erasmus decided to put him in a 12 jersey? I mean, he's a big unit, but he manages his footwork in sort of close proximity to defenders is awesome. He always manages to make a couple of yards. It would change the way South Africa play a little bit with him there, but I mean, with those two as your linchpins, they play some great rugby. But they ballsed up a load of opportunities, didn't they? And they didn't kick sticks. They had penalty opportunities and went for the try on more than one occasion, and it didn't come off. Whereas the Bulls, every opportunity they had to kick sticks, they took it, which is why they were, just reminding myself, they were 19-15 up at the break, weren't they? And yet the Stormers had scored 2 tries and the Bulls had only scored the 1, because the Bulls were just taking the 3 points. The try that was scored by Johan Grobbelaar, just a really good comprehensive driving maul, and I was really impressed with their pack today. You could tell how well their pack was doing by the look on Neethling Fushia's face. He's been playing brilliantly this season, and he was out of ideas at scrum time and was getting so frustrated. And then that back row as well. Without Hanekom, without Elrig Lowe, Marco van Staden, he can bang. That boy can bang. And he does that thing that all good, I was going to say a 7 then, because in the UK, our 7, the open side flanker wears 7, whereas in South Africa wears 6. So open side flanker, let's say that. As an open side flanker, Marco van Staden has that brilliant quality of just walking the tightrope between illegal and legal, and he just got on the right side of the referee. Sometimes you were scratching your head, but that's what good open side flankers do. And Marcel Coetzee is absolutely massive. It's bonkers the quality of back row players that South Africa don't need in their national setup, who would be shoo-ins in other international setups, is insane. I live in Manchester, and we've got the Dupree twins. Well, the three of them, but the two big Dupree twins, Jean-Luc and Dan, they're both tearing up trees in England, and they'd walk into the England setup. South Africa don't need them. It's insane. And for the Bulls as well, behind the scrum, Kurtley Arendse is such a talent. He just does the fundamentals effortlessly, and then he does some special things that only he can. He's absolutely class. The Stormers, I think they'll probably reflect they were their own worst enemy. Crazy attacking team, but errors. It probably, I reckon it's part of the reason why they gave John Dobson the job, because anyone who had hair, who was the Stormers head coach, would pull it out. So probably safest that John Dobson is the head coach from that point of view. So yeah, they were 2 tries to 1 up, but points down. And then the second half started exactly the way the first half did. Another driving maul try, Johan Grobbelaar. The Moody try, the Kane and Moody try was the killer blow, wasn't it, really? That stretched the lead to 31-15. And even though Venter got a try back through a maul for the Stormers, it was kind of too little too late, and they were playing for the bonus point, which was taken away when Ambrose Papier scored that try on 76 minutes to seal the full 5 points for the Bulls and take away any possibility of the Stormers trying to get a losing bonus point in response away from them. And on Ambrose Papier, I'm sure he played at Sale Sharks here in Manchester for a few months. Was that before Faf de Klerk came? Anyway, I'm pretty sure I've sat here in Manchester and watched him. My memory's a bit ropey, so maybe not. But anyway, he looked awesome. He's been playing really well every time I've seen him. And conversely, Jantjies, is that a bit harsh on my part? I thought things improved when he went off. And I don't know. Just the great thing about South African scrum halves, whichever one of them you look at, they're rapid, they're fast, they pass fast, they run fast, they think fast. And Jantjies, to me, just looks a little sluggish in comparison. And bearing in mind they're getting together on Monday, isn't it, for the alignment camp. Do you reckon Ambrose Papier will be one of those players who sat at home just a bit grumpy that Jantjies is there and he's not? I think possibly. But at least he made his point in this game today. The point was made by the Bulls, who are looking impressive. The Stormers, their challenge has always been to take their form that they've had in Cape Town on the road when they go away in the URC. They've been great in South Africa generally, but they haven't managed to take that form on the road up to Pretoria. And now they've got a challenge to try and meet the playoffs in the final few rounds of games in the regular league season. The Bulls are looking like they're set on their spot in the playoffs, or can consolidate it, and are looking pretty ominous. Can they? Because of course, the format of the competition is any team that gets to the semi-final, it has to be a match played in Europe, regardless of seeding. I think I've got that right, haven't I? So, yeah, the Bulls are going to have to at some point if they want to go all the way. Oh no, that can't be right, because the final was played in South Africa against when the Stormers won it, and when Munster won it. So anyway, I'm talking rubbish there. I'm starting to waffle generally, so I'm just going to move on to say I thoroughly enjoyed that game, really, and I'm thoroughly grateful that you're watching the video on the channel. And if you haven't already, I hope I will earn your subscription, and I will see you on the next one.